Hey everybody, thanks for tuning into Part-Time Adult. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Today I want to tell you a story about a gentleman who I somewhat developed some kind of a friendship with, and he happened to be in a really big gang, and I want to tell you how it's going. So just a little backstory. When I used to live in LA, one thing that I used to do a lot of was teach life skills, and it was my cup of tea. I loved it. I still try to do it when I can. I don't do it as much as I want to, but I love doing it, and it's something that I got to be really good at. I started to become kind of like well known for that, and people would invite me to come and talk to their organizations, to come and talk to their young adults, community colleges, all that stuff. So one day I get invited by a community college in the LA area to come and speak to a group of students who have a history of being in foster care. And this was called the Guardian Scholars Program. And they're in a bunch of different schools, community colleges, major four-year universities, stuff like that. They don't all have them, but a lot of them do. And I jumped at the opportunity. This was a lady who I'd known for a little while, and she was super cool. And she was like, "Hey, like, we'd love for you to come by and A, tell us about your program, and B, do some money management stuff like toward the end. No problem." At the time, I was running a youth center for young adults, and I used to do life skills classes in there all the time. And anytime I can get out into the community, I take that opportunity. Love it, love it, love it. So I pull up to the school and I go into the room where I'm supposed to present, and it's like this pretty sizable room. And there's about maybe 20, 22-ish people there, and had a great time. I go in there, I tell them about my program, and then I go into the money management. Tons of fun, just a lot of great engagement. And it went really well. And afterwards, and there was food there, which is always welcome. So thank you for feeding me. You know who you are. Appreciate you. Love you. I'm down for a free meal 1,000% of the time, always. So thank you. And it was delicious. So I go through it. I tell them about my program, and I got all the flyers and all the like the marketing materials and all that stuff. And at the end, I do some money management, like some basic stuff. And I have like this PowerPoint where I talk about needs and wants, and it's kind of like a game / discussion. It's meant to get people talking, and it's a lot of fun, I think, and I have fun creating it. Would love to share it with you one day. And things went really well. And afterward, this gentleman comes up to me, and I could tell he was a little bit older, closer to my age, and he had a tattooed tear right here, African American brother. And he comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, that was pretty dope what you just did. Would you mind coming to my job and doing what you just did at my job?" And he told me where he worked, and I was like, absolutely. And he works at this program. It's a gang intervention program. It's pretty well known, and I've been hoping to connect with them for quite some time. I just never had really the opportunity. Sometimes, I'm just busy, so it's like out of sight, out of mind. So for somebody from that organization to reach out and be like, "Yo, like, what you did was dope. Can you come through and hit us up with that?" Absolutely. And then he said something to me that I will never forget. So at the organization where he works at, they call their clients the homies, and he said something that I will never forget. He said, "I want the homies to see that guys who are cut from our cloth can go to school and get educated and all that." And at first I was like really flattered, humbled. The second thought, I was like, "Bruh, I don't know what cloth you think I'm cut from, cause you got the thing. Did grandma like do one of these and like, no, that's not coming off. That tear is there. You got that. I ain't got that. If you see tears on my face, I'm crying. I'm really, really crying." But I understood what he meant. He meant somebody who can chop it up with the homies, but then turn around and have this discussion with, the program executive director and do that code switching thing. So I can have the discussions with positive engagement, or we could chop it up and build, what I'm saying? So I could speak both languages. And I was just like, yes, I'm down, super down, super down. And the way I was dressed, I think I was in a t-shirt or like maybe like a button up with the sleeves rolled up with some jeans and like some chucks or something like that. So I looked like a regular dude from around the way, but I was also having these discussions about money management and, you know, this program that I'm running and all this great stuff that we're doing. And, you know, when it comes to working with young adults in LA and in Austin, I got about 4,000 or 5,000 people who I've worked with, and it's been an amazing experience. So, and part of my strengths are those abilities to talk to the CEO and the person who is living under the bridge. You know, it sucks, but to be able to at least communicate with those folks is one of those things that makes me valuable in this field. So I'm super excited. I'm preparing to talk to a group of maybe like 15 or 20 young adults, 18 or 24-ish, whatever. I pull up to the organization and I hop out of my car and I'm dressed in, I think, kind of fly, but not too like trying to stunt, because I don't really have that kind of wardrobe. I'm t-shirts and jeans and just regular shoes. And but I'm clean though. I'm clean. And I pull up and I got my little cart, this right here. This right here. If you work in social work, you know what this is. Look at the wheels. Look at the wheels. They spinning. They spinning. They spinning. So I pull up with this. You know, right now I got a bunch of old CDs and stuff I'm gonna donate. But at the time, I had like my laptop and a Bluetooth speaker in it, because I always bring music with me. Whenever I talk, I bring music with me. I set the tone. We gonna get some Jay Dilla instrumentals. We gonna get some Ninth Wonder, some Madlib, something like that. And I walk up into the organization, and there's like 100 gangbangers in there, just packed. And they got all the tattoos, all of them. And I walk in there and I am clearly not the same. And I'll say this, as soon as I walked in there, I felt love the second I walked in there. And I was like, oh yeah, I dig this. I see you over there with your tattoos, and I see you over there. All right. But I felt the love. And what they do is every morning they kind of give like a pep talk. Everybody gather around, you know, conquer the day, seize the day, go do the stuff, all that stuff. And sometimes they'll have celebrities come in, because they have a lot of like A-list support, stuff like that. So you never know you'll never know who will stop by. So they give the pep talk. I don't remember who did it that day, but it was cool. And after they give the pep talk, everybody's like, all right, cool, yo, good job, let's go get it. All right, team, break. So after that morning pep talk, I see the gentleman who invited me. He was like, yo, come over here, yo, we gonna go upstairs. All right, cool. So I go upstairs, I bring my, me and my ride. I'm packing. I'm strapped. I go into this room upstairs and I open up my little cart. I got the marketing materials, all the flyers and all that stuff, and the speaker and the computer. I got the beats going. It's a vibe. It's what I do. And I start to notice the people walking in, and I'm like, okay, I'm thinking I'm going to talk to like some 18, 20, 24-year-olds, and I see some folks walking in. I'm like, okay, that he might be a little too old for the program. Okay, he looks like 30-ish, maybe. Okay, that guy's at least 50. And I was just seeing people, and there's more than 20, and they're just coming. And I am trying to rethink my presentation, because these people are too old for my program. The vast majority of them. There may have been one or two here or there who kind of was under that age range of 24, 25-ish. And I did see a couple. However, there was a lot more than 20 people. They just started packing the room. And we're talking 70 people, mostly black and brown, mostly brown, some black. And there was one dude who came in late, and he looked like he was maybe Caucasian-ish mixed with Hispanic, maybe, or just really light-skinned, fair-skinned Hispanic. I don't know, but I'll tell you about him in a minute. So I'm trying to think, maybe I can adjust my presentation to where, hey, if you have a kid or a nephew or somebody who could use, the services that our program provides, here's the information. So ultimately, the gentleman who invited me comes up to me and goes, man, just tell us your story. I was like, okay, that's what you want? No problem. I still told him about the program, said, hey, this is what we do, this is where we're located. At the time, I was working at an organization in Pasadena, which is about 10, 15 minutes north of downtown LA. Told him about our services. If you need any more information, here's flyers. Hit me up. I'm the program manager. No problem. So then I get into my story. And when I tell you what I thought was going to be maybe a 30-minute, maybe an hour-long talk, ended up being like 2.5 hours, and it was fantastic. One of the greatest times ever. And when I tell you, we laughed so much, we cracked so many jokes. The women, there was a group of women over there. A couple of them had their little ankle monitors on. Hilarious. We had a good time, and it really touched me. So to the gentleman who invited me, you know who you are. I appreciate you. I really do. It's an experience that I wish I could do it more, and I hope to do more of it in Texas and anywhere else that I can, anywhere else who will have me. So I'm talking. Yeah, from Miami, I went to this school, studied journalism, HBCU, FAMU, went to LA, did music, yada yada, worked in this field, worked in tech, worked in film and music and all this stuff, right? I'm giving him the whole spiel. And the gentleman who walked in late, when I started talking about music, he was like locked in, like circle of trust. He was burning a hole through my face, and not like in a bad way. He was just really paying attention. After the talk, people are coming up to me, hey, thanks for coming by, I really appreciate it. A couple of people took flyers, not a whole lot. He comes up to me and he goes, yo, you used to do music? I was like, yeah, did a little bit of music, got offered some record deals, never signed any of them. He's like, yo, I like to rap. I'm like, yo, that's cool. He's like, yo, would it be okay if I maybe ask you some questions, learn about the music industry? Could I rap for you? I'm just like, yeah, man, whatever you want, man. I'll be around. And we just struck up a conversation, and it wasn't like he was just picking my brain, how do I get a record deal? It wasn't like that. We just chopping it up, And I see this gentleman, and when you look at him, he was about my size, and when you look at him, he's got tattoos all over his face. He has his gang on both of his cheeks. He's got something on his above his eyebrow, just tats on his neck, everywhere. Just anything that's exposed has tattoos on it. And I'm talking to him, and he said something. This conversation was years ago, so I don't, forgive me, I don't remember all of it. But he said something like, yo, I really appreciate what you're doing, because you're helping to lift people up and XYZ. And I kind of threw it back at him. I said, well, you just telling me what you just told me makes me feel the same exact way that I made you feel. So you're lifting me up, and it feels good to me too. I appreciate what you're saying. And we just kind of kept chopping it up. And, he told me how he had recently got out of prison. I think he had a gun charge. I don't believe it was his first time. And he told me, he's like, I'm trying to do better. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm struggling. I was like, hey, it's understandable. Life can be challenging. And he was like, to be honest with you, I was selling dope last night, but I flushed it down the toilet because I felt like if I didn't do that, God would be upset with me. And I was like, whoa. So now we're having a completely different conversation. So, and it wasn't even so much a spiritual one, though. He did kind of reveal some stuff that was more than I was expecting, to be honest. So we're just talking and talking, and the conversation is just kind of getting deeper and deeper, and not even just just on some trying to do better at life and trying not to go back to your old ways. I wasn't preaching to him, he wasn't preaching to me. It wasn't even like that. It was just like, I'm somebody who is struggling, and I'm like, is there anything I could do? And it felt like it was like, for now, just like, listen to me, just hear me out. That's he didn't say that, but that's kind of the vibe that I was getting. So I'm listening. I'm just listening, and listening is powerful. Just life skill. Trust me on this one. Listening has I've made a living off of listening. So I'll say that I was just kind of hearing him out, and he was just kind of just venting, and he started crying. Not like boo-hoo crying, but the eyes got watery. He had a couple tears running down his cheek, and I'm just like, this is a man who, he told me he was 34. So this is not a young buck. And I was like, whoa. For him to open up to me like that after knowing him for, I don't know what, we've been talking 10 minutes now, it's crazy. But it's real. It's very real. Words matter. And eventually we kind of like got through the conversation, and it was cool. It was all love. It was just all daps and hugs and all that stuff. And he said, can I show you around? So he shows me around. It's a pretty interesting operation. They got a lot of different departments. There's a lot to see. And he invites me to lunch. He said, yo, my treat. And I said, nah. Yes to lunch, my treat. And we did that thing where it's like, no, my treat. No, my treat. No, my treat. So I won. Or did I? I'm not sure. But I ended up paying. And we go and we have lunch. I'll never forget, they have like this taco plate that has like 3 different like kind of bougie tacos, like weird tacos, but they were good. I'm not gonna lie, they were really good, really good. I missed that. I missed the tacos. I'm not gonna lie. So I see the gentleman who invited me to come and speak, and I was like, yo, come on, come eat with us, and it's my treat. So never forget, he got a grilled cheese sandwich. I'll never forget. It's like one of those bougie grilled cheese sandwiches. It was good. Well, it looked good. I didn't try it, but it looked good. But next time I go, I may have it. So we're talking, we're vibing, great conversation, great food. Ultimately, the gentleman who invited me, he has to go back to work, so he leaves. And me and this gentleman who I had been talking to, the gentleman who was in the gang with all the face tattoos and all that, he asked me if he could rap for me. And I'm just like, yeah, sure. So we end up going to like this computer lab upstairs. It's empty, and he starts banging on the table. And he's rhyming, and he's kind of dope. To be honest. He was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. He was pretty good. I was surprised. I thought he was gonna be whack, to be honest, because most rappers are whack. I've been around a million rappers. 999,998 of them are whack. It doesn't matter if they're independent, major label, it doesn't matter. No record deal. It doesn't matter if they're conscious rappers or if they have no substance. There's a bunch of conscious rappers who have great substance, but the music sounds like garbage. So you got to have a blend of stuff. Yeah. So, but anyway, he was pretty good. And I was like, all right, cool. And he goes, man, I just need some beats, man. And I was like, man, I don't make beats, but I got a bunch of instrumentals that I didn't make, but I could shoot them over to you. He's like, yeah, no, that'd be great. I just want stuff I could practice and write to. All right, cool. So the next time I saw him, I came with a flash drive full of beats, and I gave it to him. First of all, when he saw me, he was like, yo, what's up? Good to see you. Give me a big strong hug. Yo, man, it's good to see you. Ooh, all that stuff. And I showed him this flash drive. I was like, yo, I got beats for you. And he kind of looked at it. And he was like, what's this? And I was like, it's a flash drive. You plug it into the computer. That's where the beats are. And he was like, really? I was like, yo, let me show you. So we go to the computer lab, plug it in, and, folder pops up. Click on the track, and the beat starts playing. He was like, and he had never seen this before. And I was like, wow. Okay. I wasn't expecting that. But he learned something that day, and I was like, all right, that's pretty cool, Now you know what a flash drive is. You know how it works. So he loved it. He was playing all these beats. I gave him all. Man, you name it, man. Dilla, Flying Lotus, probably Primo, Madlib. I'm sure some Ninth Wonder, all types of stuff. I don't know. I can't remember, but it was a lot. It was a lot. Probably some Wu-Tang and some old Jay-Z, Lupe Fiasco. Who knows? I don't know. It's a ton of beats, but it was good stuff. He got some good stuff. I'm not gonna lie. Like this was from like my collection. Like, so I would stop by this organization, every like few months just to say what's up. And every time I would see him, yo, what's going on? Just so cool, love. And I remember one time I was invited by the gentleman who originally invited me to come speak, to come and hang out at their music program. There's an offsite art studio that I think it's like once a week or once every couple of weeks. They convert it into like a music studio. So they have a bunch of all this equipment. There's pianos, there's drums, there's guitars, all the stuff. And then you walk a little bit further and they have all these tables set up with like keyboards and drum machines and microphones and these things. These things. Headphones. So they got drum machines, microphones, headphones, and they got it all like set up to where, you can jump on one of these keyboards with the drum pads and all that, and you can watch a professor or an instructor kind of go through some basics on a laptop with like the projector and all that stuff, and you can kind of follow along, or you can do your own thing if you want. It's kind of like you do what you do. You can be over here learning piano, or you could be over here messing around with some beats. So you can kind of, customize your own experience. So what they try to do is invite people who have had experience making music or working in the music industry, that sort of thing. So the gentleman who originally invited me was like, yo, I know you used to rhyme and you got some record deals, shoved at you. You want to come and hang? I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I go and I hang out, and the gentleman who was on the laptop with the projector was a professional musician, and there's just all these musicians just kind of hanging out and chilling. It's a dope vibe. And I see the gentleman who I talked to with the tattoos, who was crying and all that. He's on the piano doing his thing, and it was good to see him again. And yeah, so some time went by, and eventually I leave LA. So obviously it's going to be kind of hard to visit this organization, but it's one of those places where if you want to get a good taste of LA, it gets no realer. But there's a lot of love, and there are a lot of people who are healing in that space. I ended up recommending that a coworker of mine go out there, because she was going to LA for something, like to hang out, but she had never been, if I remember correctly. I was like, yo, if you want to see LA, go to this place, hang out there. And I connected her and excuse my voice. And I connected her and the gentleman who with the tear who invited me. And she wasn't able to go because she had to cut her trip short. There was something happened, she had to leave early. And I was bummed out because I was really like hoping that she would be able to check it out and just come back and be like, yo, that was amazing. And there's some great things going on at this organization and all that, but that didn't happen. So me and the gentleman who invited me to come in the first place, we just check in on each other. Typically I'll shoot him a text, hey man, just want to say it was good, see how you doing? You doing all right? Hey, I'm good, man. How's school? School is good, yada yada. Good to hear from you. And hopefully I'll stop by one of these days. Cool, no problem. So in 2020, during pandemic, I hit him up. Just, hey man, how are you? Yada yada. And he's like, oh, I'm doing all right. It was text. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna call you one of these days, just so it's not texting, because it's like, I think a call just kind of has a little bit more feeling behind it. So I called him, hey, how you doing, man? How's school? Yada yada, all that stuff, right? The same conversation, but just it's good to hear your voice and all that. And then I asked him about the gentleman who I met that day, who I treated to lunch, the guy with the tattoos, his neighborhood on his face. And he kind of paused and he says, he got life. He got life. And I was just shocked, you know. It's like, wait, what? What? So he got a murder charge. He got life. He's guilty. I was like, man. And first, I have no details, so I don't know what happened, but you know, I pray for the person who lost their lives. I pray for the person who lost their life. Pray for their friends and family. I pray for that gentleman who's serving life in prison, his friends and family. Again, I have no idea what happened. So I'm gonna just say that it's an unfortunate situation, and it sucks. It sucks all around, you know. And I'm now that this dude who I met, it's an unfortunate situation all around, and you know, I'm like thinking about this dude who I met, you know, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, 3 states away, whose last name I don't even know. I know his first name, and we'll just call him Joe. You know, it's not Joe, it's not anything remotely close to Joe, but we'll just call him Joe. Joe, that dude who was crying in front of me, who was talking about flushing dope down the toilet because he felt God would be upset with him for selling drugs, who bared his soul to me the day I met him, who offered to buy me lunch, somebody who I taught about flash drives and we bonded over hip hop, who seemed to be wanting to get his life back on track, is probably going to die in prison. I'll just say that I want to leave you with 5 words that a gentleman I used to go to church with in LA passed on to a group of young men who were members of a mentoring program that I used to run at a high school in the LA area. He was a guest speaker, and we used to have guest speakers all the time. Forgive my voice. He gave us this sentence that I think he may have got from his mom or his aunt who was a teacher or something like that. I can't remember. But he wrote on the board 5 words: my decisions determine my future. My decisions determine my future. 3rd time for confirmation. My decisions determine my future. Make wise decisions. Thanks for watching. It's Part-Time Adult. Be good.